Also, I really hate, I despise Tiger. It's a really badly designed and programmed arcade that I am basically supposed to play if I want to get ether to improve the basic stats of Poppy, which is bollocks! You don't make your player go through a stupid optional minigame to unlock important elements for your main game. That's stupid! That's asinine! I hate this so much! Yes.
I actually don't mind Tiger as an actual game.
You know what? I did the 5 levels, 1 level each once, and then I stopped doing it because it turns out it's really not necessary. Poppy is strong and efficient in either way, so I don't care.
Did not mean to do that.
I really hate this game. This mini-game, I should say. And I was much more infuriated about it the first time I found out that I had to do this in order to unlock certain features, but that was before I realized that I really did not need to do them, because she would get strong anyway in the traditional manner by which every blade gets strong. So really everything else about it is optional, which I am thankful for.
I'm sucking. I'm usually better at this.
So going back to something I was trying to say about 10 or to 20 minutes ago. So when I joked about those two twin characters, they were basically the same model. What's hilarious about this game is that yes, they reuse character models constantly. That's nothing new with JRPGs. We have a lot of NPCs who are just basically the same 5 different models for both female and male characters. But what's hilarious about it is that since these characters are used constantly for quests with their own fully voiced cutscenes, the game basically puts a giant magnifying lens on the very concept, on the very idea that all of these characters are the same bloody character model, and it becomes so noticeable, it's actually hysterical. For example, there is this one little girl who shows up for the Dahlia quest, which I really do hope you unlock Dahlia at some point just to witness how absolutely abominable that design is and what her quest entails. In another quest altogether having to do with Cosmos, the same little girl shows up, but this time she's wearing glasses. So, you know, it's a completely different character!
Is Cosmos only unlocked after beating the game?
No, Cosmos is one of the original blades, but it's the last one that I was able to unlock. And
boy. This is bad. I'm 1 hit from dead. Oh no.
You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean about this game? Oh, that crab is so cheap too.
Yes.
Anyway, so yes, Cosmos was the very last blade from the original set I managed to unlock. And honestly, it's pointless to get...
It's just RNG. There's no special way of getting Cosmos, it's just RNG.
You have to do the lottery, unfortunately, and hopefully...
So that means conceivably you could get her very early.
Yes, and I don't suggest to get her very early at all, for the simple reason that you can only unlock the last layer of her trust chart, so to speak, by completing her quest. And you can only unlock and get to her quest when you are almost at the very end of the game, of the main game. In fact, of all the
oh god,
blades,
this is taking mercy on me. It gave me 2 invincibility power-ups in a row.
maybe they are taking into account that you suck at it.
Maybe.
As I was saying, your quest is available at almost at the very end of the game, at the tail end of Chapter 9, in fact. And she is... her quest, I should say, is... of all the side quests, of all the blades that are available, it is the one that you get at the latest point in game compared to everything else.
I might make it this time.
Was it worth it?
We'll see.
No.
I got a no damage run, that's good. Nope. Was not worth it. Anyway.
Like I said.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is a good, underwhelming moment to end the stream.
Yeah, I think it's pretty set right now. Also, what is this game's fetish with android, with robot maids?
Ross, you must have realized from the beginning that Poppy was basically Poppy, I should say. Poppy. Which has puppies. Yes. Poppy was Tora's fetish robot.
Obviously.
Which amazes me and baffles me that this little furry sidekick snarfball has a fetish for human girls. Which is contradicted by a optional cutscene involving him, Zeke, and Morag, in which she does not realize that Morag is a woman.
Yes, I remember that. That was hilarious.
She's dressed as a military male person, but I don't buy it for a second, because he clearly knows how a woman looks like, because he built one.
To be fair, he built only childish women until...
No, he didn't.
No, do you see this Poppy cutie? The one that's on screen right now? Only happened after you would get that
I know, but she is Cutie Pie.
Cutie Pie, yes.
As in the Greek pie.
Yes, I know.
It's the stupidest visual pun imaginable. I love it. Okay, but here's the thing. He's had a bunny costume all this time.
Yes, he did have the bunny costume.
Poppy. And he clearly knows that he's built a female human type of android. So that is why I don't fully buy that he wouldn't know or recognize a human female when he sees one, even though said human female is wearing military outfits. Because freaking this is the oldest joke in anime history, and it's not funny, damn it. I've seen it too many times.
One thing I do want to mention is that strangely, really strangely, this game only pulls the anime shenanigans as a whole in just one chapter, which is bizarre to me. It's just like on chapter 4 they were like, oh crap, this is a Japanese game, right? Cramming as many anime tropes as we can before we have to get serious with the plot again.
Yes, and then we have to bust out the maid robot a second time when it's not tonally appropriate.
I know, it's just like, this would have been a slam dunk if you had used this kind of in a self-contained place without any serious vibes going down there, but both of them, it's just like, again, trying not to spoil anything major in the story, but you have a character's tragic tragic backstory where we're supposed to really feel for them, juxtaposed to giant maid robot, and then the improved version of a giant maid robot ends up nearly killing a plot critical NPC.
Yes, and the entity responsible for the giant maid robot that almost killed an important NPC is basically Jabba the Hutt in a Snarf form, which, by the way, is going to have its own side quest later on, which ties to what I like to call the Snarfy Plier saga.
Snarfy Plier.
I have said too much. You will find out in due time.
Okay, but it's just weird. Normally when a game goes a JRPG really wants to play up the anime tropes, it'll do so consistently throughout the entire experience.
Yes, so this game has a pretty huge and evident tonal problem, which becomes even more transparent when you sandwich a important critical plot point, including the very ominous and foreboding revelation of a character's backstory through a silent black and white cutscene, and you sandwich that in between giant maid robot attack and the one-eyed monster.
Hold on, and the one-eyed monster line, and the hot spring situation, all happening in this chapter.
Well, to be fair, the hot spring was the most understated hot spring scene in any game or anime I have ever
and
seen.
it actually kinda served the purpose besides pointless fan service. For once, it actually kinda had a reason to be there.
But then you have Mithra. She went to sleep in the boys' room and she wakes up and oh no, she overreacts and throw objects at them.
And I was just like, why? Why is this here? Why did you just start being a Japanese game and then suddenly forget it after like chapter 5?
And then there is Dromark, who was sleeping with a cute little two-tailed sleepy hat, which was the funniest thing. I love this game. I love this game and I embrace it with all the flaws and the tonal dissonance. There isn't quite any other JRPG that gave me this many disparate feels that Xenoblade has managed to give me. I was so in love with the concept of this game existing and everything it does right and even everything it does wrong. I even ended up forgiving some of the more egregious directions that the story... Oh my gosh, she's doing it again! Staying alive, baby!
This will never get old.
See, that's what I mean. And it's even better when both her and Tora are dancing at the same time. It's really good for what it is. And what it is a game flawed, but with a personality to feel an entire cloud ocean, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best way to play.
I am 90% sure that some of the animators here must have sneaked in dubbing. I assure you, I must have caught some of the blades dubbing while they thought nobody was looking, but I was never able to catch them on photo, which bugs me.
But even as far as I am, Poppy is still my favorite character in this game.
I mean, Poppy, I like her, she's cute, but I am not completely behind her as a character, simply because she is literally somebody's fetish robot, and that is a stigma that I can never separate from the actual character. Especially not now. Now she's both the best and the worst.
I mean, she basically is like, yeah, I mean, basic tours are like, well, I might as well just fucking embrace it now.
Yes, and that is the best thing I can say to this game. To put a nice little tidy ribbon at the end of this analytical journey that we have taken, is that this game embraces its own silliness instead of trying to deviate from it or trying to masquerade it as something far more pretentious or serious. Like, say, any given Final Fantasy game. Except for 9, which is good. Or Persona 5, for example, which is also a game
yes,
that...
we know that you hate Persona 5.
I mean, Persona 5, you would think it might have a great personality. It looks snappy and polished and all that. And you might think that it knows how to have fun with itself. What with the silly-looking, giant-headed Pokemon cat mascot. But the truth is that that game takes itself so seriously, it pretty much destroys any chance to have fun with it. And the worst part that I really come to despise about it is that, okay, you know what? It's inevitable, given how close they come out compared to each other. It's inevitable to compare them, given that basically this game also uses personas.
Yeah, basically the two huge JRPGs released in the exact same year that are just filled to the brim with personality and content.
Yes, but I would argue that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a better Persona game than Persona 5. Simply because the personas in this game, for once, they all have their own specific personalities, and you get to explore said personalities by going through their quests and their own personalized cutscenes. Whereas in Persona 5, they are just cosmetic powers with a appearance, essentially, and they serve no other purpose than that. And they are functionally used in the same way here, but in this game they go out of their way to make you care for them.
True. I mean, every one of these characters has personalities. I'm surprised at how endearing Pandoria is, for example.
Oh yes, she definitely turned out to be very adorable. They really have done a good work in making me like these characters, even though they are very simple characters.
They are very simple characters, but when you have a cast as large as this, simplicity can be a good thing.
Yes, but they have a good dynamic and they have good in-game banter and the idle animations. When I think of the characters in Persona 5, I think of really boring high school archetypes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say high school archetypes, but yes, you basically hit the nail on the coffin. And
I do want to say there's one other thing that these two games share, really share. I mean, actually, the one thing that you can almost say indisputably with how awful Persona 5 did it, that Persona 5 still managed to do it better, and that's the true bad guy. Like the one guy that you're like, oh, this guy's not going to be a bad guy down the line. Okay, he's totally a bad guy.
Okay,
because
yes.
Persona 5 has they out the traitor so hard so early. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like, all of its villains are drawn like villains. And they don't even, like, you can't be surprised when one of these characters is like, I wonder if this guy is evil, referring to a specific powerful figure that may have unleashed the evil upon the world to begin with.
Oh no, he actually, factually, historically did, and everybody knows it.
Yes.
Which is baffling that he is in power to begin with, but then again, we live in the Trump era, so there you go.
I mean, literally, he's like, I have these two glowing crystals in front of me. One is glowing green, the other is glowing jet black. You know what? I'm going to take the jet black one.
He clearly did not have anybody to teach him that emerald is green.
Oh no. Oh god, that's so funny.
I love that cutscene, by the way. It's green, you idiot! Emerald is green! It's a Monty Python sketch gone wrong.
Oh, I forgot about that cutscene. You just like that was well played, Madhog. I don't think we could possibly end it off of a higher note than that. So I am bidding everyone adieu as I catch my breath.